But then Judah still has some other tribes as well. Let's keep on and take a look at this next. And look at this is this miracle right here. So verse 12 says that Joshua was in battle and prayed to the Lord. And this is what he prayed, and this is what happened. He prayed in the midst of the victory. The sun was going down. And he prayed that the sun would not go down until they defeated their enemies. Read this with me from verse 13. So the sun stood still. What? And the moon stopped until the nation avenged themselves of their enemies. Keep on going here. Verse 14. There has been no day like it before or since, when the Lord heeded the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. Then fast forward, so then he's this whole chapter about him just addressing enemies. And let's read this last one. Joshua said to them, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, be strong and courageous. This is what the Lord will do to all the enemies who you are going to fight. Amen. You may be seated now in the presence of the Lord. Just a few points. Now in your outline, we've already gone through F-E-A-R-L-E. We're going to have a few S's today to talk about, and then we'll finish. So a few S's. So what we have right here is, now I want to be clear about this, what happens earlier. God had told, before we even get to these points, Joshua has spoken to God about going to war against the enemies. God said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, I'm with you. Joshua later on goes back here in verse 25 and tells the people, don't be afraid. How did Joshua know to tell the people not to be afraid? Because what? Because God told him. So here's the point. So Joshua was delivering what he received. The people were not afraid because they got a word from Joshua. And Joshua was not afraid because Joshua got a word from God. What I want you to know right now is that God has a word for you. And the word is, don't be afraid, because there's some things you believe in God for and trust in God for and relying on God for. Don't let somebody who didn't get that same word talk you out of what God is doing in your life. You got a word from the Lord. Yeah, you know the word of God, the Bible. And you know the word about God, but there's a word behind the word. There's a word that God says, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And don't let somebody who did not get that word cause you not to do what God called you to do. Joshua got a word from God. And once he had the right mindset to know I heard from God, and God says, don't be afraid. So now I'm not afraid, and I can tell somebody else they don't need to be afraid. Our challenge is we keep getting our word from people. Instead of, I'm about to preach up in here. And we keep getting our word from people instead of from the Lord. And God says, I got a word from you to help you through the situation. I got a word of breakthrough for you, and a word of blessing for you, and a word of blessing. But we keep on listening to people. Derek, what you think? What you think they think? I got a word from the Lord. Instead of always listening to people. Well, Joshua was able to do amazing things because his mind was set only on what God said. Our challenge is our mind gets set on God for a minute, then gets set on bills, then gets set on burdens, then gets set on barriers, then gets set on bridges, instead of saying, no, my mind's just going to stay set on what God has for me. Now look right here we have for this portion of scripture right here. So here's your first S right here. So God said unto Joshua, fear them not, for I have delivered them into your hand. This is what I need to make sure we as believers we know. Whatever spiritual enemy is trying to raise up against you, God has already said, I have already defeated them, and I have delivered them into your hand. We keep living like they may have victory over us, when God already said, I gave you victory over them. So God says, don't you be afraid, because I already delivered them unto you. So I gave this analogy before. We keep living like the game is live. I told y'all when I was in college, when the VCRs and everything were there, we were watching this football game. And the team we were pulling for was down by, it was a football game, they were down by 20. And it was like, and the people came, and my friends came in, like 3 minutes left in the game. I said, oh, they're going to win by 1. They was like, oh, man, it's 3 minutes left in the game, there's no way. So they kept watching the game, 3 minutes left, the team scored. And the final score was 21-20. And they were like, man, it's Eric the Greek. Man, you gotta make some money off that thing. I said, well, no, I just, what y'all watching is a delayed broadcast. I saw the real game earlier. Y'all just watching the tape. What I want y'all to know is y'all keep watching the tape, but I know what the score was. We won. Jesus won. God won. We got victory. I don't you watch that delayed broadcast, and we keep living like we don't know the outcome. Jesus wins. God won. You won. We are victorious. I know the outcome. So I don't care what kind of things the devil's trying to do. Whatever the enemy is in your life has already not going to be, not fixing to be, not about to be. It's already been defeated. Give God a hand clap of praise of what is already defeated. God said, Joshua, don't you fear. Because I've already, now here's the point. Now what's happened before then, and I'll just tell you, between we just read verse 1, between 2 and verse 7, 5 armies have gotten together with Judah to get ready to come against Joshua. So now you got 6 against 1. And God says, you know what? I don't care how many they are against you. If I am for you, oh hallelujah, you already have the victory. I don't care how many enemies out there, God said. It can be 6 of them. It can be 6 million of them. But since I am on your side, you've already gotten the victory. So I need you to know whatever problem you're dealing with today and whatever enemy you're dealing with today, God says, I have already delivered them into your hands. I've already conquered them. I've already defeated them. I've already taken them down. Stop living like that thing's going to defeat you when God has already defeated it. Come on, give God one more hand clap of praise in Jesus' name. God says, fear not, I deliver you. And so in addition to this, we're going to go and watch what happens. Then he says the same verse. There shall not be a man of them to stand before you. What does that mean? It means that out of all these problems that are trying to rear their head against you and trying to overcome you, not one of them has power to overcome you because you got the power of the universe inside of you. I said, now one of them can overcome you because the power of the universe is inside of you. I said, now one of them can overcome you because the power of the universe is inside of you. So there should not be any problem that's going to be able to stand before you. Because God says, I have already defeated it. Stop living like you don't know the outcome. We know the outcome. We've already won because God has already delivered every enemy. In fact, it's at the feet of Jesus and at our feet, and we've already won. Watch this S right here. Watch this S right here. They all watch what happened now. The S, the sun stood still. Joshua said in verse 12, God, you told me I got the victory. But I'm going to need a little more sunlight just for a little while. Now, we 75% there. And if they go down, I don't want them to have a chance to regroup. So he prayed to the Lord. And here's what I want. And he prayed to the Lord. And the sun stood still until the people had avenged themselves on the enemies. Don't you telling me a God that can part the Red Sea? And a God that can make the sun stand still. And a God that can be with Daniel in the lion's den. And a God that can be with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And a God that can be with Jonah in the belly of the whale. That same God can't see you through. That same God cannot rescue you. That same God is about saying, I got to believe God for more than what we see. We are supernatural beings. Stop operating in the natural. Everybody else would have said the sun's going to go down, but Joshua, oh no, I got a relationship with the supernatural one. So I can start praying supernatural prayers, and I believe God has heard them. So somebody's looking for a miracle, and somebody's looking for a breakthrough. You believe God for that miracle and that breakthrough. Why? Because God has already done what he says he's going to do. I don't know what you're looking for a miracle. But go on and claim it right now. I don't know what you're looking for a miracle. Go on and receive it right now. I don't know what you're looking for a miracle. Go on and embrace it right now. In the Old Testament, the sun stood still before Jesus even come. And the Holy Spirit was there. Joshua Pray to God. Don't let the sun go down until I accomplish your will. Whatever miracle you believe for, as it's consistent with the will of God, God has moved heaven and God has moved earth to let you know He's a mighty, 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 mighty good God, and He's always on your side. The sun stood still, did not go down. No, it never happened before, never happened again. And I'm telling you, a God like that loves us too much to turn His back on us. Come on, somebody. A God like that loves us too much to not be there by our side. A God like that loves us too much. I don't care what the enemy is. Whatever you want, it's time to start praying some supernatural prayers. Stop praying now, lay me down to sleep. You know you want to sleep. And then start praying some supernatural prayers. God, I need right now. I'm trying to fulfill your will. I need some more light for just a little while, if you don't mind. I need some favors for just a little while, if you don't mind. I need some more resources right now. Whatever I need, God, I thank you right now. You have supplied all my needs according to the riches and glory. Because I got some stuff to do for you that I cannot do on my own. So I'm trusting you, God, to provide everything I need to bring to pass. Somebody give God one more hand clap of praise in the name of Jesus. So right here it said the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and did not go down for a day, still shining while they're out there defeating their enemies. What are we saying here? So look what happens. So now God told Joshua, we already saw, God told Joshua, don't be afraid. Joshua's mindset is now, I'm not going to be afraid. Now look what Joshua's going to do right here. Then Joshua said to the people, don't you be afraid. Don't you be dismayed. You be strong and of good courage. Where did Joshua get that word? Because God had already told him that. Stop going to people first. Go to God and get a word from Him. And once we get a word from God, we can share with others. We keep going to people first. What they say, what they think. They say gonna get you in trouble. What they say, instead of saying, oh no. Because what happened, then we take what they said and God isn't lining up. No, God said, no, I need you to seek me first. I need you to come to me first. Because I got a word I got to give to you that when it's seen in your life, you can share with somebody else. Stop. I praise God for all of the mentors you have and all the people in your life. You got to go to God first. I don't care who it is, go to God first. Let me just say, because God is the only one who can give revelation. People can give confirmation. Revelation comes straight from the throne of God. It comes a word from God. You know what happened when Jesus said to Peter, flesh and blood did not reveal that to you. When He says, who the men say that I am. Revelation comes from God. And then people can provide confirmation about what God said. But see, revelation is never going to come from people to you before it comes from God. I say revelation is not going to come from people to you unless it comes from God. So if somebody comes up to you and say, you know what, I had a dream about you last night, and God told me to tell you to go to Africa. You tell them to go back where they came from, because you didn't get a word from the Lord on that. It's going to have a word from God. And then if you got a word to say go to Africa, then somebody, you see them at the grocery store, you know, God told me to go to Africa. And then that's confirmation. But if you can't even spend, don't even know where to find it on the map, so then if you got him told you that, stop listening to what people have to say. Because people will confuse you. Because they're confused. They know one scripture. Jesus wept. Don't know why He wept. Don't know how He wept. Don't know when He wept. But they knew that He wept. And they don't give you one scripture. And they confuse you. Now God says, I got a word from me to you. And once you internalize that word, you share that word with somebody else. And now people can provide confirmation, but only God provides revelation. And what we'll talk about at Bible study on Tuesday and also on maybe this afternoon as well, I want to talk about this idea about this God speaking. So Joshua, it says right here that God said, God said, God said. And one of the things that's been a perennial challenge in the body of Christ is how do we discern the voice of God. So right here, so we have some things about how God speaks, several things we'll talk about a little bit later on as well. Can you please give God a hand clap of praise for his word going forth on today?